try to explain how to do water kefir. It's actually pronounced kefir, but it just comes more naturally to me to call it water kefir, and some people call it that. So here's my little kefir water that has been fermenting now for 48 hours. I just keep redoing it, and it goes 48 hours, and we drink what we make, and it's all good. So I'm going to make some new. Because what I do is use a strainer to pour out what I have made, because I want to pour out the water crystals. That's what gives this natural, good, healthy bacteria, like probiotics. What we get from taking probiotics, this kefir water is like natural probiotic. Ooh, and it's been growing, so I have a little more water crystals than before, which is good. I want them to keep growing and growing. Eventually I'll be able to share some. So here's my water and some lemon, my little water crystals, this healthy bacteria. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the healthy bacteria that ferments and helps to make this water kefir. So I'm going to rinse that out. So I poured off just the water. I don't want, to drink that, although you could eat it and taste it. It doesn't really taste like much. And then to this, I'm going to add some flavor. So this is just liquid, yummy flavor. Now, kefir water helps to provide a natural probiotic. Like if you were taking probiotics, probiotics are so important because it helps kill off the bad bacteria that we have in our bodies and helps promote healthy bacteria. Now, some people also make raw kefir milk, and kefir milk actually has more strains of bacteria than water kefir, but since I'm allergic to milk, then I really have been enjoying the water kefir. Water kefir has 20 different strains of healthy bacteria, which is awesome. And it kind of gets this bubbly effect, kind of carbonation, and tastes like pop. So my kids call it Pioneer Pop, or I don't really like pop. We've never kept pop in the house. We don't really drink pop. So it just gives a little something different than just water. And you don't have to ferment it for the next 12 hours if you don't like that carbonation effect. I actually just usually stick one in the fridge for me that doesn't have that so much fizziness, because I just like, just the juice. But it still has a little bit of bubbliness and fizziness, but it's really good. And it's super good for you. So now I'm going to add this 100% juice. Old Orchard is really good. 100% juice, doesn't have any added sugars, it's just fruit. And so you can flavor your water with whatever you want. I'm going to put about a half of this frozen concentrate in my water kefir. So this, I'm excited to try. It's pineapple orange. I haven't tried this kind yet. We've done apple cherry. We've done just lemon with lemon juice, and a little bit of organic sugar. So I'm excited to try this pineapple orange. Hopefully that's enough. I'm just doing about a half, and then I will stir that up. It's all liquefied. Now, let me know if you have any questions on probiotics, natural probiotics. I also take a really good probiotic and from Plexus. I love the Plexus products. I take Probio 5 and also the BioCleanse, which has magnesium and vitamin C, really good for your arteries and for your GI tract and everything. So it's really healing. And this is just a natural type drink that can take the place of pop or juice, or just give you a little added flavor if all you drink is water. So I'm really liking it, and it just is really good for your body. So I'm glad that my kids like it because it's so good for them, and hopefully they don't feel like they need pop or anything like that. Okay, so that looks really yummy. I might try it and make sure it has enough flavor. Now when you're transferring your water and stuff, it's best to use glass, like a glass bowl, but since it's in transfer, it's okay. But when you store it for the next process, you store it in these glass bottles that can take some pressure, because you let it sit for another 12 hours and it's gonna build up that pressure and get that carbonated effect. So you need these types of bottles that can withstand some pressure so it doesn't blow up or something. That's really good. I love this kind. So I think that's probably enough. I might add a tiny bit more, tiny bit, and that's gonna be really yummy. So now while that's sitting for just a second, I'm gonna go ahead and get my grains, my jar ready again. So anything you use with your kefir grains or anything, you want it really cleaned well, but you don't want to use soap, because soap, you don't want those chemicals and things from the soap in your water kefir. But you also, soap has antibacterials, so you don't want that killing those good healthy bacteria that we have in our water kefir. So a good thing to do is to rinse it with a vinegar wash, like 1 part vinegar to 5 parts water. And so I'm going to do that real quick. You also want to do that with anything you add, like the lemons that I add to the top while it's fermenting for the first 48 hours. You want to give that a good vinegar wash. So I have a little water in here, some vinegar. I'm just going to rinse that around a little bit to clean my jar, and then rinse it with hot water. So that's ready. Is what I do now. You want to use filtered water. So I'm going to fill my jar back up with filtered water. You want good, filtered water. Fill it up, and then I'm going to add my kefir grains back to it. And then this again will sit for 48 hours. If after 48 hours we haven't drank all of our stuff that I'm making now, I'll just sit it in the fridge to slow down the fermenting process, and until we're ready for it. So it's quite easy. I'll let that go for a second. So it's quite an easy process. It's not that difficult, but it does need to sit and ferment for 48 hours, kind of just on your counter in a good, nice place. And the interesting thing, these water crystals, the kefir crystals, eat and grow off sugar. So you want a good organic cane sugar. I know you can get a big bag at Costco, a good quality. This is non-GMO, verified organic cane sugar. Interesting thing, on my blood food allergy test, cane sugar is like my #1 severe allergy. So I was a little worried to make this and drink it, and I was like, oh, I'll just make it for my kids and my family. But it actually is interesting because these water crystals, your kefir grains, feed on this sugar. And so actually there's not really much sugar left in your actual water. Isn't that crazy? And I thought I would get a reaction or something, but I haven't at all, because it eats most of the sugar that's in there. So I usually do about 1.5 cups of organic cane sugar. Then make new. And so I flavor it different every time. Sometimes I do half just lemon, because my husband likes the lemon, and then half something else like the pineapple orange. So I did it half and half last time. This time I'm just doing all pineapple orange, and hopefully everybody likes it. But now I'm gonna let this new one sit on my counter in a kind of a darker place for 48 hours, and I'm gonna love it and take care of it and watch it grow. Okay, so now I'm ready to pour in this new yummy kind into my bottles. And I might have more than enough bottles. Okay, so you want like a little strainer. Everything's been washed, you know, with a vinegar wash. And I'm just gonna start pouring. Hopefully I don't make a mess. Sometimes I make a mess. Hopefully this is interesting to you. I actually learned about this a couple years ago and I was intimidated by the process, but it was interesting to me to learn about it. And so finally now I'm starting to make my own, and it's actually a pretty interesting process. But if it intimidates you, it's fine. Maybe you'll try it in a year or something. But it's really pretty simple and it's really good for your body. And if you're trying to give up pop or something like that, or you just want natural probiotics, then this is a great option. Really good for your body. You want to kill off that bad bacteria that you have in our bodies. Most people, especially the way we eat in America, most of us have so much bad bacteria in our bodies, really causing all sorts of symptoms and problems, and leads to inflammation, which leads to diseases. So really getting rid of that bad bacteria in any way we can, with eating whole real foods, taking probiotics, making kefir water, doing all sorts of good healthy things for our body can help a ton. So I'm glad that we're loving this. The process is kind of fun. Now maybe next I can get really good at having a garden, hopefully. But it's a fun process, and I'm enjoying making the bread as well. So I'm gonna keep pouring this out, and then maybe I'll make another video about bread as I perfect that. But I've been using a natural yeast starter to make bread, which is awesome because using the natural yeast, it helps kill the phytic acid in the gluten, which see, I got a little full. The natural yeast starter helps kill the helps kind of kill the phytic acid, which makes gluten really hard to break down. So it makes it easier to digest and break down the gluten when you use a natural yeast starter, making the bread yourself. Anyway, that's a whole other video, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish pouring these out, and I think I have just enough bottles to make this one, but I'm gonna pour these out and I fill it up not all the way to the top because it needs a little room. And now I'm gonna sit these on my counter again these will sit for about 12 hours. And in a couple hours, I'm gonna need to pop them and kind of release that pressure. You kind of have to burp them to release the pressure, because that pressure, that carbonation will start to build up. I'll probably put one just in the fridge for me so it slows down that next fermenting stage and doesn't get so fizzy. But I'm excited. These ones look yummy, and I'm gonna burp it in a couple of hours, and then after about 12 hours or so, I'll put them in the fridge and they'll be ready to drink. They're ready to drink now if you want, but if you want the carbonation effect and kind of that pop effect, then you let them sit for another 12 hours and burp them in between so that they don't blow up, and they're good to go. So hopefully you enjoyed learning about water, kefir water. I know I have, and I've enjoyed the process, and it's really good for our bodies, and it's been really fun, and fun to have something other than water to drink. So enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully when I grow my grains I can share them with some friends. You can also get some kefir grains online. I don't know what the best source is. I could find out. I know it's easier if you can get them from a friend, and they're not really grains. Like I said, it's just that's what they're called, kefir grains. And it's like these little water crystals, this good healthy bacteria to help make our water kefir water. So hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully I explained it well, and it's a fun process, and it really is super simple. Okay, see ya, bye.